Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning! Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office. Welcome to the morning grind. It is so great to see everybody. I hope you are having a good morning. I'm feeling really good. I was dragging yesterday, especially yesterday afternoon. I was like, I was dragging. But kind of got a little bit more wind starting about like 6 o'clock last night and started getting some more stuff done. Then got some sleep, woke up, got some things done. So I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling very positive. There's a lot of stuff going forward here, though. And so I hope you are also feeling that same kind of energy. Hey, and check this out. I even succeeded on beverage this morning. Cultist coffee here. It's actually coffee. It's not last night's beer. This makes morning so much better. Woke up and got the morning beverage done right. So, coffee this morning. Actual coffee. It's a bit chilly here. Now that we got warm coffee, much better morning experience. All right, let's see. James, good morning, James. Good morning. Good morning, Brent. Good morning. And Nathaniel, good morning. Oh, Phaser Wrist is here talking about the HeroQuest Wandering Monk. We're going to talk about, this is a small unboxing today, but it's been a while since we've done an unboxing. And I did just get this in yesterday. So this is HeroQuest, The Path of the Wandering Monk right here. So I'm going to do an unboxing of it. It's not going to take us all that much time to take a look at the monk here, but I saved it for you guys to open up with you guys here this morning. So we'll be taking a look at that. And then we'll also be talking about about what the big next project is after the Trial of St. Gabriel wraps up right here. Phaser Wrist says, well, actually, I'm just going to hold on these right here. And we'll talk about this once we get these out. Brent says, it's cultist coffee because I'm a cultist and I made it. That's exactly right. All right. So what is going on here? Well, so yesterday afternoon, one thing I was doing while I was dragging was trying to get the show set up for the next week, especially on Table Talk. Tonight, I am talking with the esteemed Maxwell Alexander Drake, who just goes by Drake. And he wrote this book, The Dynamic Story Creation. He is a really fascinating guy. He's got great takes on story structure. He runs the Starving Writer Studio online. He's worked in the industry quite a bit. Excuse me again. So I need to, I sent him all the links, but he hasn't, well, I have to check my email. I don't know if I've gone through all of my email. Want to make sure that he's got the links. So I need to verify. So I haven't actually gotten confirmations. Hopefully he got those emails. So I'm going to be talking with him tonight at 7:00 p.m. Central Time, at least as if I have confirmation. I want to talk to him. He's written for EverQuest Next. We're going to be talking about EverQuest Next. He's written for Shadowrun. So we're going to be talking about Shadowrun. And he also has projects coming up in Harnworld. And we've talked about the Harnworld RPG on this channel and how much I like it. I've never gotten to play it, but I've got the Harnworld box over there. I was exploring Harnworld, its rule system for potential, a system for running Middle-earth games in. I never got to do that, but that's when I was really exploring that. So I know about Harnworld, so I didn't know that he was involved with that. So we'll talk about him working in the industry for those things. But I also want to talk to him about the tragic character arc, because he talks briefly about tragic characters in dynamic story creation, but not to nearly the degree of sophistication and specificity that Adrian talks about that in the Stomping Kittens book. And so actually I want to talk to him about what he thinks about the tragic hero and then how it can be expanded, because we've talked about this quite a bit. He also he said years ago, when I saw him at a presentation, he said that ask me sometime why Star Wars does not need its prologue. So we are going to be talking about that. And I've never gotten to actually follow up with him. So, I have the idea about the relationship between Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 that we've talked about on this channel, and how you handle that. And I'm wondering if that's the kind of thing that he's going to talk about as well. So I know I'm going to talk to him about that as well. So that will be going on tonight. Also, okay, this may change, but right now, excuse me. But right now, let me give you the link to this one. Drake discussion. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, Phaser Wrist. So there you go. That's the Maxwell Alexander one. Please do hit the notify me, because this is the link over there to the Table Talk channel. Should be anyway. Yes, the Table Talk channel, which we are now up to 924 subscribers. 924. We had 909 yesterday, right? We now have 924. Oh, really? Got here late this morning because MCDM just launched their backer kit campaign for their RPG development. Will someone please send me a link to that? Maybe we should look at that this morning, because like I said, the HeroQuest thing is not going to take that much time. Maybe we should look at that. I would be interested. Will you drop that in the Discord? Or actually, maybe just see if I can find it right here. Oh, so he's crushing it. Backer kit, MCDM, RPG. Okay, we'll look at that in just a second. Okay, so he is clearly crushing it. Okay, we'll look at that here in just a second. Might look at that after the unboxing. I'll just put that over here. Anyway, 924 subscribers over here on Table Talk. And then, okay, so this might change. I'm going to re-air my discussion with Brianna, bringing the episodes from this channel over to the new channel, the dedicated Table Talk. Brianna and I did an episode on Nosferatu, where we studied Nosferatu. She and I watched it, and then we talked about the structure of the horror genre. And so that will be coming out at 1 o'clock on Sunday, except maybe, this is a maybe, because Doug missed Tuesday. Doug didn't get to be in on Tuesday. He asked if I wanted to do a live stream Sunday afternoon instead. And so, and I was kind of like, because I was, like I said, yesterday I was really dragging, and I knew I had the conversation with Drake coming up tonight. And then I've got, and I was just feeling overwhelmed. And there was a bunch of other stuff I've still got to do. And so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. But then he got really excited when he was listening to Cameron talk about, on replay, Cameron talk about the history of the Christian church, which he knows a lot about, Doug knows a lot about, because of his research for historical fiction books on the Byzantine Empire. And so I may push this re-airing by a week and see if Doug wants to do his discussion on the Christmas story and talking about that. We will see. Thank you, Sable. Thank you. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning. So we will see. So what goes on there. And then next Tuesday, Doug, Brianna, and I will be back together to talk about Fight Club. That'll be live. And then we won't have Brianna for a little while. Christmas break after that. She's adjusting. She's going on a vacation, kind of a working vacation, but she's going home, see all of her family. And then she won't be available until back in January. So this will be our last time together for the year, all three of us. But that's going to be great. Yes, I guess I did. We can't actually talk. I didn't think about that as I was making up this poster. I'm sure that'll come up during the stream that we're doing something wrong here. All right. So the Trial of St. Gabriel is still going. We're going to end on, I guess we're actually going to be ending during Fight Club. We were supposed to be talking about something else, but Brianna, we changed up the conversations because Brianna was going to be here this Tuesday because of changing up her schedule. So the Trial of St. Gabriel is going to end in the middle of this. Good morning, Andrew. My dark story of the Christmas massacre. And by the way, I just got notification about 20 minutes before this came live that the physical proof, or that the new digital files had been accepted. My new layout had been accepted and was ready for a digital proof order. So I pressed the button to order a new physical proof. That is of the Trial of St. Gabriel. So they are now in the process of sending me a new proof, and hopefully it'll be perfect and everything will be great. Let's see. So if you are interested in coming in and getting there, this is a nice little book. Please come in and do that. All right. Let's see. So we got HeroQuest. We need to see what's going on with this MCDM backer kit. I guess I'm going to need to back it because I really don't know. I think I'm subscribed to him. I guess I just haven't seen, for some reason, maybe it's one of those things I just haven't seen his uploads or something recently, so I understand what's going on with that. Let's see. Oh, man, Blair Witch is one that we should look at. I remember working in the movie store when that came out. I remember the chaos of that. I got to experience a lot of movie chaos by working in a movie rental store. Right before streaming really became a thing. It was before streaming became a thing. It was before Netflix was a thing. I remember Netflix when it was the actual send you the DVDs. I remember that coming out. And I remember working at the store when we had both, when DVDs were actually coming into the store. And man, that was some chaos. It was so much fun. That was a fantastic job working at the movie rental store. I really loved that. And I got to see just the emotion that the people just will never experience today. Just kids today, they don't know that you're going to the movie rental store and you got to go pick up the VHS, and other people may have gotten there before you, and you're like, people are standing by the door. Like anytime anybody returns a movie, what is that? What is that? What is that? Show me what that is. Like grabbing at what that is, to what they might be returning. Will you please check the Dropbox to see if somebody has returned that? I've seen people like nearly get in fistfights over one last movie that is sitting on the shelf. That's just a bygone era. Bygone era. Chuck wrote a Fight Club sequel that came out in a comic book form, although it does seem unrelated to your movie talk. But yeah, I remember renting that too. Of course, you know, you get free movies. You also got free movies when you worked at the movie store. And God, I remember that movie being a rage. Let's go over here. Let's do our morning sacrament this morning. We've got a proper breathe and sip this morning. All right. So here we go. Yeah, I didn't see it in the theaters, Andrew. I did see it, but I saw it as soon as it came out on VHS. All right. So here we go. Everybody got your beverage with you this morning. Let's do 2 deep breaths, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage. Everybody together now. This is the mental health portion of the show. So here we go. And sip. All right. This is from Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield. Art and addiction. For the past several years, I've written a weekly post on my website, stephenpressfield.com, called Writing Wednesdays. Far and away, the most popular entries in that space have always been in my Artists and Addict series. One of the points these posts made was there's not that big a difference between an artist and an addict. Many artists are addicts, and vice versa. Many are artists in one breath and addicts in the other. What's the difference? The addict is the amateur. The artist is the professional. Both addict and artist are dealing with the same material, which is the pain of being human and the struggle of self-sabotage. But the addict amateur and the artist professional deal with these elements in fundamentally different ways. When I say addiction, by the way, I'm not referring only to the serious clinical maladies of alcoholism, drug dependence, domestic abuse, and so forth. Web surfing counts too. So do compulsive texting, sexting, Twittering, and Facebooking. Distractions, displacement activities. When we're living as amateurs, we're running away from our calling, meaning our work, our destiny, the obligation to become our truest and highest selves. Addiction becomes a surrogate for our calling. We enact that addiction instead of embracing the calling. Why? Because to follow a calling requires work. It's hard. It hurts. It demands entering the pain zone of effort, risk, and exposure. So we take the amateur route instead. Instead of composing our sympathy, we create a shadow sympathy, of which we ourselves are the orchestra, the conductor, the composer, and the audience. Our life becomes a shadow drama, a shadow startup, a shadow philanthropic venture. Have you ever been to New Orleans? In Tennessee, Williams-esque southern cities, Savannah and Charleston also come to mind. You find characters, the colorful old lady with 39 cats, the purple-haired dude who's turned his apartment into a shrine to James Dean. In the South, you can get away with that stuff. It's kind of cool. The shadow enactment has been elevated to such a level it becomes folklore and even almost art. My life used to be a shadow novel. It had plot, characters, sex scenes, action scenes. It had mood, atmosphere, texture. It was scary. It was weird. It was exciting. I had friends who were living out shadowed movies or creating shadow art or initiating shadow industries. These were our addictions, and we worked them all the way for what they were worth. There was only one problem. None of us was writing a real novel or painting a real painting or starting a real business. We were amateurs living in the past or dreaming of the future while failing utterly to do the work necessary to progress in the present. When you turn pro, your life gets very simple. The Zen monk, the artist, the entrepreneur often leads lives so plain they're practically invisible. Miyamoto Musashi's dojo was smaller than my living room. Things became superfluous to him. In the end, he didn't even need a sword. The amateur is an egotist. He takes the material of his personal gain and uses it to draw attention to himself. He creates a life, a character, a personality. The artist and the professional, on the other hand, have turned a corner in their mind. They have succeeded in stepping back from themselves. They have grown so bored with themselves and so sick of their petty bullshit that they can manipulate those elements the way a hazmat technician handles weapons-grade plutonium. They manipulate them for the good of others. What were once their shadow symphonies became real symphonies. The color and drama that were there outside now move inside. Turning pro was an act of self-abnegation, not self with a capital S, but little s, self, ego, distraction, displacement, addiction. When we turn pro, the energy that once went into the shadow novel goes into the real novel. What we once thought was real, the world, including its epicenter, ourselves, turns out to only be a shadow. And what had seemed to be only a dream becomes now the reality of our lives. Oh, James says, I used to work at Blockbuster. I worked at Movie Gallery, and there was a Blockbuster up the street. And so that was our rival. I remember like people returning movies to the wrong place. We'd get calls from Blockbuster saying, we got some Movie Gallery tapes in here. Somebody's returned them. We'd have to go up there and get them. And likewise, like trying to catch somebody when like somebody comes in, drops some movies in the drop box. I open it up and see that they're Blockbuster tapes inside, and then can I please track this person down and run out the door with their movies to get them before they drive off from the parking lot, to let them know that actually this goes to Blockbuster. All right, let's see. Let me start the auxiliary camera here so we can take a look at this HeroQuest box. See what's inside here. Turn on. Let me get my light going so you'll be able to see. Get some light on this situation so you'll be able to see what's going on. There we go. Right there. Good morning, Zero the Blade. Yep, perfect timing. All right, so this is, I just got this in yesterday. HeroQuest, Hero Collection, Path of the Wandering Monk. Now, I hope I'm not disappointed here, because Phaser Risk says the monk kind of breaks the HQ, the HeroQuest game, because it's basically the elf, but has 8 regenerative spells per adventure, whereas the elf only has 3 one-offs, and the wizard has 9 one-offs. Well, that doesn't sound good. I want the wizard to be complementary, to everything else in the game. And I don't have the druid. I've got a stand-in for the druid. And one of you guys, I'm sorry, I forget who it was, sent me scans of the druid card because we needed a druid. Because I needed an extra player several months ago. But I need the official druid. Does the druid work? It seemed like the druid worked to me. The monk pretty much makes the elf and wizard obsolete now. This is no good. The elf is an awesome hero, though, but now a new spell system needs to be introduced. I was thinking of giving the wizard all 12 elemental spells every adventure, and the elf the expansion spells. That's one of the things I've talked about on this channel when like how to improve HeroQuest. The spell casting is always one of those things that comes up. And I've thought about that too. It depends on what elf spells. Some of them are good, some of them are not good. I talked about when I was doing the elf quest pack, some of the solo quests, that I couldn't justify taking any of the elf quests, the elf spells during the elf quest, because I needed a healing spell. So this says, the Path of the Wandering Monk, a student of unarmed combat techniques crafted in reverence of the elements, uncompromising yet merciful, ruled by wisdom and discipline. Path of the Wandering Monk. Contents: 2 finely detailed miniatures, 7 game cards, and scroll. It says, remove the scroll, figures, and cardboard inserts found inside the box to reveal game cards. Replace the scene insert to display your figures. All right, let's see what's inside. All right. Oh, wait. So how am I supposed to open that? Path of the One. I saw the the 2 expansions. I have not ordered those yet. I think somebody said they were shipping. Phaserist says, I do like the tapping system they use for the monk, though. Maybe somehow use that for the elf and wizard now, too. Oh, whoa. Well, this is quite fancy. So it's like a display case? It would look even better if they were painted up. Hey, that's kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. Focus, camera, focus. There we go. In fact, let me see if I can... Okay, that's in... Okay. High definition. Oh, Keith Crow says, hey, everyone, this has been on my wish list for a while. It's great to see an unboxing. Yeah, well, look at that. Pull tab to remove figure inset. I mean, here's the entire thing. Pull tab to remove figure inset. Pull tab to remove figure inside. It did say remove the scroll. So here's the know the path, but no, not the path. Here it is. No, not the path, but the reason you walk. I should be playing. I might be playing HeroQuest. Should be playing HeroQuest this Saturday. So I'll have to take this over to at least show this to the nephews. Tournament. First summer moon. Avoid the wilds. World's End Tournament. Good morning, Jason. You broke 1 million? Let's go check that out. It does. It sounds like the Morpheus quote from The Matrix. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. World's End Tournament. Warriors, heed the call and test your mettle for glory and gold. I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is. It's kind of cool. This is some sophisticated packaging. Well, you have to roll this tightly. There. All right. So pull tab to remove figure insert, pull tab. So there we go. All right. So that's what the situation is. Then this is some sophisticated packaging. So here are our characters. Oh, they're taped in there. Remove the tournament scene cardboard insert to reveal game cards. Replace the scene insert to display your figures. Oh, that does come out. Okay, that comes out rather easily. They're really throwing down for some HeroQuest here. So what do these figures look like? We have the male and female monk. I like the male. He is wearing a sword. I also like the female sculpt. I like them. Okay, elemental styles. Here are the game cards. Good morning, PH. Good morning. Okay, elemental styles. The monk uses elemental styles, martial abilities inspired by the elements of air, earth, water, and fire. Oh, using elemental styles. So here's our rules. Each elemental style contains 2 techniques that can be found on either side of the card. Once per turn, you choose one technique to activate. After you've used a technique, that elemental style is exhausted. The elemental style of fire cannot be used until you've exhausted air, earth, and water. If there are no monsters in your line of sight at the start of your turn, recover all exhausted elemental styles. So each elemental style contains 2 techniques that can be found on either side of the card. Once per turn, choose one technique to activate. After you use a technique, that elemental style is exhausted. I can't use fire until I've exhausted air, earth, and water, but they are rejuvenating, like Phaser Wrist was talking about. All right, so we got, let's start here. You are the monk, a student of unarmed combat techniques formed in reverence to the elements. You refuse to use armor or shields, instead relying on your heightened grace and agility. You may only wield daggers, crossbows, hand axes, short swords, and staves. You are the... Okay, so that should be... We got the male and female. Yep. Attack die 1, but we have an asterisk with attack die 1. When attacking unarmed, roll 1 additional attack die. Defend die 3, body points 6, mind 4. This one does not, well, this one does not have the asterisk here, but we got the asterisk down here. So they are the same. Movement 2 red dice. When attacking unarmed, roll 1 additional attack die. Huh. No asterisk on that one. Interesting. All right, so we got air. So we got, for instance, air says soaring dragon. Automatically succeed when jumping over a trap. After using air, this elemental style of air is exhausted. Or Eye of the Storm. So I guess you get to choose one. So you're going to have these laying out in front of you, and then you're going to choose which one of these you want to use. Sable says that's some decent looking art. Yeah, I'm sure it does count for both. So Eye of the Storm is, as an action, make one unarmed attack against all adjacent enemies. This technique enables you to attack diagonally. After use, the elemental style of air is exhausted. This does sound powerful, that you get to reset these. You get to reset them every time that you don't have a monster in sight. That does sound very powerful when compared to the elf and the wizard. I think, or another thing we do is just reset these to some kind of spells and use them in a more standard way. Because if you're playing HeroQuest optimally and you're playing HeroQuest like a SWAT team, every time the monk enters a room, the monk's going to have all of these back. That seems way too powerful. So this is Earth. Strength of Mountain. Roll 2 additional attack dice on an unarmed attack. But, these are different. I think, man, these are different because you get to use them and do something else. A wizard and an elf also have to cast a spell on their turn. They can't cast a spell and attack. So the Strength of the Mountain would allow you to roll 2 additional attack dice on an unarmed attack. You would get to use that and make the attack. Now, that would make something that the monk a little bit different, that you can use one of these, but man, it still feels like it needs to be gone. It's because the chick monk kicked so much asterisk it fled her card. So what's the other side of Earth? Speak with Stone. Search for secret doors and traps as one action. After use, the elemental style of Earth is exhausted. Search for secret doors and traps as one action. See, I can't see that one being used as much. Unless HeroQuest has a timer. Right, exactly. So Phaser Wrist says, the Strength of the Mountain is like having the elf casting Courage and attacking the same turn. Exactly. That's what I was thinking of. So that's really powerful. And the fact that it resets is insane. Speak with Stone. Okay, so I can't see someone using this one, search for secret doors and traps, as one action, unless there's a timer on HeroQuest, which, as I've said before, is one of HeroQuest's main flaws, that there is no timer, which allows the heroes to play much more optimally. HeroQuest needs a timer. If there was a timer on the game, then being able to do 2 of these things in one action would be important. But I can't, I mean, of course, this resets, so you might as well use it. But if it doesn't reset, especially, that would be something that would be neat, but would be most important when there's a timer. Here is water. Tidal surge. Activate this technique on your turn to split your total movement roll before or after your action. After use, the elemental style of water is exhausted. I mean, that one would be good. I mean, it is good. It's what everybody wants to do. Twisting torrent. Activate this technique when you take damage to cancel that damage. After use, the water elemental style of water is exhausted. Touch of Endless Inferno. As this is one you have to exhaust all of these before you can build up to fire. Touch of Endless Inferno. As an action, inflict 1 body point of damage to any one adjacent enemy. The target takes an additional 2 body points of damage at the end of its next turn. After use, the elemental style of fire is exhausted. Burning Spirit. As an action, expel a beam of bright, brilliant energy from your soul's core. This beam may be straight or diagonal and continues until it meets a wall or closed door. Each enemy in the beam takes 2 points of damage. The air, water, and earth elemental styles must be existed. Okay, and this is too powerful. James says, I don't know. With how long a game of HQ can take, I would be more likely to house rule that Speaks with Stone as a static monk ability. They just always get to double search. That could be done too. As the way this is set up, this seems like it's too powerful. This does seem like it's overwhelming. Like, why would you not take this character? So we haven't actually had that many releases, and we're experiencing some power creep here. Seems like to me. Definitely have some power creep here with the monk. Cool boxing though. And I do like having new heroes. So I guess I got the Knight in one of them. But yes, does seem overwhelming. But again, things like that's exactly where I was going, Sable. Given how insanely difficult the quests we saw in the live streams were, maybe the rest of the classes need to be buffed in order to match the new classes. Maybe. That was actually the next thing I was going to say, was that, well, we do know that some of those quests in like the Barbarian and Elf quest pack that we played online can be rather, we're pretty brutal. So maybe it was I don't know how they balanced this, or if they balanced it, or if it was just balanced to feel. That is pretty cool, though. So that's what's inside the new monk box. I don't think something that I'm going to be allowing the nephews to play when we're in the standard HeroQuest. Standard HeroQuest box set. They're still working their way through the initial set of adventures. Hopefully we do get to play Saturday and continue. James says, that's Hasbro's MO. Make it fun and only balance if people complain. Phaser Risk says, they should have split the monk's abilities over several characters instead of putting them all into one of this OP character. Honestly, yeah, I agree. Because you could retheme a lot of those abilities. It doesn't have to be that one. And the monk doesn't seem to be added to the HQ app yet. Oh, interesting. PH says, Heath, are you familiar with Film Courage? Yes, I am. I came across it a while ago, and it popped up again on my feed yesterday. It features numerous interviews with industry writers and sharing their wisdom. Yes, I have definitely watched quite a bit of Film Courage, actually. And I would highly recommend it for anybody who's interested in filmmaking and storytelling as well. Phaser Risk says, you should definitely have them fight the monk as an enemy first. Yes, maybe the first monk shows up as an evil monk. Maybe so. if we play on Saturday, the next quest that's up is the one where they start captured. Okay. Well, okay. We're gonna talk more about what was going on with the cultists and what I'm trying to bring out next. But man, we gotta go see what's going on with MCDM. So let's. I'm going to bring that up. Let's check that out and see what's going on because I have no idea. And let's see. All right. So yes, we're now over $1 million. I'm gonna have to back it. I'm gonna have to back it just so that we know and we can look at it in the morning grind here later. Okay, so what is this? Whether you're a group of local heroes, turn this light, get this light out of my eyes. There we go. Whether you're a group of local heroes sent to investigate mysterious goings-on in the Haunted Wood or a famous mercenaries plotting and scheming in the big city, the MCDM RPG makes building adventures and fighting monsters fun. And we haven't really looked at this I haven't seen like previews. Like, is there some kind of preview that's out there? I mean, maybe further down this page. The same with DC 20. I'm still curious as to what DC 20's got going on. Dungeon Coach has got going on. Still very curious about that. But I didn't pay for his preview. Let's see. So this is for this is for the RPG. Okay, the MCDM RPG. Got it. MCDM's first original game, a new heroic fantasy RPG from the folks who brought you Strongholds and Followers, which I have used in a game. I got Strongholds and Followers sitting over there. And we did use it in Lou's game. Kingdoms and Warfare. I think I never played with Kingdoms and Warfare. I heard that it wasn't all that compatible with Strongholds and Followers. The Illrigger, the Beastland, the Talent, Flee, Mortals, Where Evil Lives. I don't know those others. Comes a brand new game built from the ground up to give you a better system for running a better game. What this game is, a fantasy RPG where your character starts at level 1, already a hero, maybe even locally famous. You might meet in a tavern or start in the middle of the action. Whether you're a group of local heroes sent to investigate mysterious goings-on in the Haunted Wood, or famous mercenaries plotting and scheming in the big city, the MCDM RPG makes building adventures and fighting monsters fun. Basically, any adventure or story you're running for your current fantasy RPG you can do in that game, just in a more straightforward and fun way, unburdened by sacred cows from the 1970s. What this game is not. You can absolutely run epic games with heroes exploring dungeons, but this game is not about dungeon crawling. You don't track torches or rations or worry about running out of light. You can plunge heedless of danger into a dark and haunted forest, but this game is not about exploration. No hexes to explore. By focusing on the core fantasy of epic heroes fighting monsters and tyranny, we think we deliver a better experience for your friends at the table. Draw Steel. Fighting monsters in this game is a dynamic, action-oriented blast. Heroes and monsters often have the abilities that knock their opponent into walls, through doors, and into each other. Every hero has a small array of cool thematic abilities they can use every round. You gain resources in this game as you play, so battles get more epic as they go. No slog. This game uses 2d6 plus a handful of d4s and d8s. When you attack, you roll 2d6 and add one of your abilities, and that's how much damage you do. Your attack roll is your damage roll. You cannot miss. No more wasted turns. No more burning resources on spells, only for your target to save. Negotiation. We love fighting monsters, but there's more to the game than that. Certain NPCs can be negotiated with to tell them to change their allegiance or reconsider their actions. Technically, any NPC can be negotiated with, but there's usually only one per adventure. The NPCs have stats like patience and interest. We also plan on rules for research and crafting to let players unlock ancient secrets and build wondrous marvels. We have ideas for how to make language fluency relevant, better rules for wealth renown, but it's unknown how much of that we can fit in a 400-page rulebook. So sample pages here. The text is a little bit too small for me to read. I guess I could. I know it's too small for you to see. This game is about fighting monsters, about larger-than-life, extraordinary heroes plunging into battles against terrifying, monstrous enemies. That covers a lot, so we think it's useful as designers to focus on what this game is and isn't. Tactical, They say tactical heroic. Says this, our game is definitely about heroism. For us, this means a couple of things. It means we don't assume your character is primarily motivated by greed. They might be. We don't assume that. Instead, we assume you're going to do the right thing. It might take some convincing, and there might be some reluctant heroes in your party, but that's part of the fun. Cinematic, closely tied to the heroic keyword. The cinematic keyword is about how we like powers and abilities with strong visual component. You can imagine your character doing or saying things like, in all this confusion is a good name for the shadow ability to slip out of melee and retreat to safety. The text of the ability says how it works, but the name creates a visual that explains how it's working. Fantasy, just, it's got dragons and stuff. It's worth mentioning. While everyone basically already knows what fantasy means in this context, we do imagine a little more broadly than your average classic medieval fantasy. Oh, full resolution. What is this game? So I was okay. So I have to say it's difficult to read. So you do get a full resolution one. I should have scrolled down slightly. Let's talk more about what it says with heroic. You should absolutely be able to run a Chains of Acheron style campaign where the heroes are hard-bitten mercenaries in a morally ambiguous world. But that's not a baseline assumption. The fiction and adventures that inspire us feature epic villains trying to remake the world in their image, the dashing, unyielding heroes who strive against them and even in the face of impossible odds. So that's one component of the heroic keyword. But another component equally important is what kinds of things happen on screen, so to speak. This is very closely related to the cinematic keyword. For instance, you never see Indiana Jones having to find a local sporting goods store because he needs to stock up on ammo. You never see Katniss Everdeen have to stop and take a shower because she stinks. These things do happen. No one watching Raiders of the Lost Ark thinks that Indy's gun is magical and doesn't need bullets. We just don't need to see Indy doing that stuff. We don't need to waste time on it. Likewise, in your game, we don't worry about stuff that heroes in fiction tend not to worry about. We don't worry about how much everything you're carrying weighs. If you try to lift a bear, you might get the encumbered condition, sure, but nowhere in your character sheet are you tracking the weight of every item. We don't track food such as rations, and you don't worry about how many torches you have. Light might factor into a specific environment because that can be a fun tactical challenge, but the game doesn't expect that everyone always worries about running out of light. Basically, we worry only about those things you see your character doing in a movie or a comic or a novel about their adventures. Assume all the tedious stuff happens off screen. Speaking of things happening off screen, this is cinematic. When Sir Vazanor, the draconian fury, leaps into a goblin war spider, cleaving through the spiders, ridding the creature in a single turn. When Sir Vazanor, the draconian fury, leaps into a goblin war spider, cleaving through the goblins, riding the creature in a single turn, you can see it in your mind. It feels like a movie. It doesn't need to feel simply like you rolled well, but an epic scene complete with slow motion and Carpenter Brent soundtrack. You should imagine your tactician character leading the battle, granting your allies free attacks, extra maneuvers, coordinating the battle. That's what the name implies. And if we've done a good job, when you reach your character's abilities, you think, yes, this is what I was imagining. I can't wait to do this. So that's what's going on here. Let me see what people are saying over here. Does Colville broadcast any live plays? James asks. I have no idea. That was a question. Phaser Risk says, have you checked out the Oracle Story Generator cards yet? They provide over 2 billion story possibilities. I own them. They're just super fun to play with alone and use. Definitely recommend. I have not. This one right here. Yeah, well, 1 billion. Event-based story generation with over 1 billion combinations per deck. For all fantasy role-playing games, writers and storytellers. I was about to say that sounds like something that would be great for generating a... I want something that generates adventures like that on the fly. That might be it. Let's see. I'm assuming this has a GM. Okay, so Sable Phoenix knows the answer. Solo plays supported but not currently planned. Solo plays supported. Solo plays. Oh, solo play support is not currently planned, but it's all still in development. So their answer is we'll see. PH says, Matt said you start as a hero, not a coroner who just got a sword. At level 1, an MCDM RPG is like a level 3 in other D20 games, maybe even having some status locally. I was wondering what shield leather was. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Building a heroic. Let's see. What does this say? Building a heroic narrative. Heroic resources. Your hero has a heroic resource, sometimes 2 heroic resources determined by your class, which you can manage during play. Earning resources can increase your hero's power, and resources are spent to activate your most powerful abilities. Each class grants and uses its heroic resource differently. The resources aren't equivalent across classes. For example, 1 virtue for the conduit isn't worth as much as 1 focus for the tactician. See heroic classes for a breakdown of the classes in the game and their heroic resources. Some classes, such as the Tactician and the Fury, generate the use of use resources only during combat encounters. Others, such as the Elementalist and the Talent, can use their resources both in and out of combat. Bags of rats ain't heroic. What does that mean? Some players might think that quickly starting a fight with some bar patrons or carrying around a bag of rats is a good way to gather up those sweet, sweet victories and heroic resources. Those strategies don't work. The rules of the game exist to help you tell a cool, heroic fantasy story, not so you can try to be clever and exploit them by harming innocent rats to win. In order to generate victories and heroic resources, you must face and overcome challenges worthy of a hero. Each hero has a limited number of recoveries they can use to heal themselves. When you spend a recovery, you gain health equal to your healing value, which is 1/3 your health maximum. All right. Full resolution of the tactician. So is this like I guess we're doing character classes here? Strategist, protector, inspiration. All these monikers fit the tactician. You can use kits. You can use martial kits. So I guess that is like a class. The MCDM dwarves. So this is like your our races here. Dwarves are the best. They're tough. I bet they all say they're the best. Dwarves, this kind of weird looking dwarf right over here. Look at that. Dwarves are the best. They're tough, hard to kill, hard to move if they don't feel like moving. Every team of heroes needs a dwarf. Dwarven skin isn't just tough, it's hard, made of stone. Well, the sages call it silico-organic hybrid, but no one knows what that means. Surely dwarves eat and drink like everyone else, but you can just tell by looking at the dwarves their skin is made of sterner stuff. You can see flecks of granite and marble in their flesh. Swords spark off their skin. The dwarven reputation as excellent warriors have a reputation as excellent warriors, and indeed, why stop with one dwarf? The MCDM. Oh, so it looks like we're playing on a grid here. Oh, this is interesting. The PH says it has a GM, but the game does not have a GM book. The examples in the book will make it clear how to do it. Their words. James says this system sounds great, by the way. Is there some place where we can actually read the system? Yeah, we looked at some of the solo oracles. I've never tried to do one, though. So this is forced movement. Some actions or maneuvers allow you to push, pull, slide, or toss another creature. Slamming into creatures. Hurl through objects, forced into a fall, falling. So, for instance, a conduit pushes a hobgoblin 6 squares. After moving 1 square, the hobgoblin hits a wooden wall. It costs 3 squares of forced movement to destroy the 1 square of wood, so the wall absorbs 3 squares of forced movement and the hobgoblin takes 3 damage. The hobgoblin then moves the remaining 2 squares of their forced movement. Push 3. The Fury pushes a hobgoblin 3 squares. Each square moved must take the hobgoblin further away from the Fury. The squares must be in a straight line. Pull 3. The Elementalist pulls a hobgoblin 3 squares. Each square moved must bring the hobgoblin closer to the Elementalist. The squares must be in a straight line. It sounds neat to me. It does sound neat to me. Full resolution. So kits. I remember kits from AD&D. So kits: Wizard, Cloak and Dagger kit, Shining Armor kit, Whirlwind kit. Lots of sample pages. That one's a Necromancer here. What we're funding. We're funding 2 books, Heroes, basically the rule book. Approximately 400 pages of rules making characters, character customization, advancement. There'll be ancestries, classic and new, classes, skills, rules for combat, negotiation, research, crafting, and more. We really like customizing characters and giving lots of options. Even 2 heroes of the same class and ancestry can be very different in the game. Monsters, a monster book. Basically, flee mortals without the villain parties or environments. Most of the monsters in our 5e monster book, plus all the stuff we had to cut and a bunch of new stuff. You'll also get rules for building balanced or deliberately unbalanced, depending on how much trouble your players have gotten into, encounters. Already in testing. We've been testing and developing this game internally for almost a year now, but it was just the folks at the office and our friends. The first packet went out to our contract testers back in August, and we've been pounding on it ever since. This game is already working, and it's already fun. For the next 18 months, we'll be adding more classes, ancestries, progressions, customizations, rewards. Oh, so this is going on for another 18 months? We take testing very seriously. We want to make books that are fun to read, full of great ideas for your world and game, and are fun to play, and that takes time, polish, iteration, and lots of testing. You do not need to take our word for it. Come to the Discord and talk to us directly or join a future playtest. The schedule. We think we can get these 2 PDFs finished by June of 2025. Wow. Oh, okay. So a playtest is available for their patron subscribers, so forth. I got it. Oh, the Whirlwind kit. I train the 9-section whip chain. It's an awesome weapon, Phaser says. Does donning the shining armor also make your teeth the whitest and your hair fabulous? Of course it does. If things go well, we intend to get to you, our backers, a playtest packet sometime next year, hopefully in second quarter of 2024. We intend to publish this game under an open license, probably something like the Shadow Dark license, because we want you and anyone else who wants to make, share, publishing your own work using these rules and set in this world. We hope by the time the PDF exists, folks will not only be playing this game for months, they'll also be making, sharing, and selling their original works using this material. Yeah, $40. Heroes and Monsters, $65. Heroes hardcover, $70. 400 pages of rules. Heroes limited edition hardcover, $120. Both Hero and Monster hardcover, $135. Hero and Monster limited edition hardcover, $250. What are the limited edition books? Both books with gold embossed covers with cloth dust jackets with a cool slipcase. Your book gets a little house. The Ajax edition. An epic fantasy game needs an epic fantasy villain in Ajax called Invincible. The Iron Saint is one of our epic villains. Designed by Cook and Becker, the Ajax edition comes with both Heroes and Monsters limited edition and a cloth map of Vasloria, our default setting, designed and illustrated by Kyle Latino, aka Map Crow. Dice, all the dice used in the game, an exclusive Ajax mini. His stats will be in the monster book. A custom coin you can use to clearly indicate whether you've taken your turn this round. A director screen. The director side has all the charts and device you need to run the game. The player side has new dope art. Stretch goals. So it looks like they might get the 1.5. Most certainly. Virtual tabletop stuff. Vassaloria box set at 2 million. So Vassaloria is MCDM's medieval European analog. Shipping and logistics, risks, the future. More stuff to come. All right. Well, cool. Thank you for letting me know. I'm glad that we took a look at this. So this was cool. So we got HeroQuest and MCDM, checking out the MCDM page. I know nothing about this. I will probably back it, and that way we will also have it, like whenever the playtest material comes out, we can take a look at it on the morning grind and see what he finally actually is able to produce. Phaser Risk said, "Whoa, those prices make my pocketbook shed a tear." LOL. Yes, that's high. But like I said, for a 400-page book, so like how many pages? I mean, I guess it's here's strongholds and followers. 200. Let's see. This is 268. So not quite double this. We'll see. All right. Well, everybody, so I'm going to go make sure that we've got. I'm going to make sure that we've got Drake tonight. I'm going to message him and make sure that he knows that we're on for tonight. But I hope to see everybody tonight for our discussion with Maxwell Alexander Drake. It's going to be great. So have a wonderful day. Go forth, be creative, be constructive, and I will see everybody tonight. Later, everybody.